The engine is the weak point of the car. It malfunctions quite quickly. Dirt accumulates inside the unit, which leads to an increase in lubricant consumption. This is explained by the design features of the unit. Owners usually encounter this problem after driving 150,000 kilometers. Trouble should also be expected from the rings and connecting rod bearings. The first ones lie down. This all relates to design flaws. It is unlikely that you will be able to fix the problems on your own. The help of qualified specialists is required. Even with normal operation of the 5th generation Honda Odyssey engine, the engine oil should be changed more often than the manufacturer recommends. The optimal frequency is once every 5,000 to 8,000 kilometers, after which the liquid loses its cleaning properties. The 5th generation Honda Odyssey is equipped with a 4-speed automatic transmission. The node is subject to a fairly high load, which negatively affects its condition. The situation is especially difficult in all-wheel drive vehicles. Changing the lubricant more frequently will help extend the life of the gearbox, ATF-Z1 or ATF-DW1. The recommended interval is 25 to 30,000 kilometers. The steering rack is a problem in every fifth car. She runs or knocks. This effect occurs due to the plastic pins of the slats, which, even if there are holes, will give the impression of being intact. This phenomenon is called optical illusion. Diagnostic rack condition monitoring does not recognize the problem. Liquid penetrates through the destroyed seals under the pins and damages the shaft. It begins to collapse. In this case, it is impossible to repair the steering rack. The only solution to the problem is to replace the part with a new one. Its cost is quite high. You can save money by using a contact unit. You need to choose it carefully, as it may have similar problems. You can avoid troubles with the steering rack. It is necessary to periodically replace the tie rod boots with duplicates made of rubber. The latter are able to reflect the real situation. The front and rear crosspieces of the drive shaft on the all-wheel drive version do not take long to take care of. After a run of 140,000 kilometers they need to be replaced. The cost of the parts is high, about 80,000 rubles. Not everyone is ready to shell out that amount, so they resort to a more economical solution to the problem. It consists of a separate replacement of the crosspieces. They are installed according to marks. The disadvantage of this method is that the possibility of balancing the cardan is excluded. This leads to rapid wear of the crosspieces. Replacing them is a simple procedure, but over time it gets boring. Only replacing the drive shaft with a new one will help eliminate the defect easily and for a long time. Moreover, it is better to give preference to the original. The emergency lubricant pressure sensor is an obvious shortcoming of the Honda Odyssey 2013 to 2017 release. The malfunction occurs on almost all engines with a volume of 2 liters. The absence of a leak indicates that the sensor has been replaced. The original part will last longer than the duplicate. Operating problems also arise with ball joints on the upper front control arms. It's worth noting that the problem is unique to the Odyssey. In other cars of the company, these parts are permanent. Explained by the weight of the car. In this case, it's also not worth talking about a design error. Ball ones last quite a long time when compared with competitors, up to 100,000 kilometers. But compared to other Honda cars, this is a serious drawback. The silent blocks in this lever also quickly become unusable. The reason is similar. The problem can be solved by installing a new original lever. On the one hand, it is reliable, but on the other hand, it is not cheap. The price of a duplicate is less, but the service life is shorter. This problem is also typical for rear wishbones. Also refers to unique. Other cars from the Japanese manufacturer with a similar design are practically indestructible. The reason is the heavy weight of the car. The problem can be fixed by replacing the lever or repressing it. The main disadvantages of the Honda Odyssey 2013 to 2017 release. Poor engine protection from overcooling. Low clearance. If there are 7 people in the car, then it lowers significantly to the ground. Auto start does not start the first time, both in winter and with a slight drop in temperature. The side door windows squeak. In a lowered position they shake. At first glance, the car is reliable and unpretentious. But in reality the situation is different, it presents unpleasant surprises. Although the shortcomings are not very serious, Their elimination will require considerable financial costs. Despite this, if we compare with similar cars from other manufacturers, then the Honda Odyssey 2013 to 2017 release is more in demand. From which we can conclude that the shortcomings of a minivan are not so burdensome for owners. You can avoid many troubles. It is enough to use high-quality consumables and take into account the design features of some vehicle components.